On this farm, we have always been, we've always had a diversified cropping mix. We've grown, most years we'll have corn, soybeans, wheat, and cotton. We are continuous no-till. We've been no-till farming probably since like 1983, 1984. Again, it goes back to our soil type. We have a lush soil, which when you go in and disc and chisel plow and all that to prepare the soil, the conventional farming methods, we have a lot of erosion. And so when we got into no-till, that was good, very helpful on the erosion standpoint. Only in the last 5 years have we seen a real increase in corn and wheat and soybean acres in our county. It largely has to do with cotton prices stagnated in the middle of around 2006, 2007. Input costs were steadily going up, and but the food grains, as I call them, wheat, corn, soybeans, began to take off. Those commodity prices went up when cotton remained flat, and we began, and people around us began to get more into grain production, which opened the door for us to look at products like AVAIL. Because these crops have such a need for phosphate fertilizer. Mid-South Farmers Co-op came out, we discussed how we're going to do it. We took a field, it's about 20 acres. We split the field. We put the same fertilizer blend across the field. The difference was at the midpoint on half the field, it was just my usual DAP, potash, and nitrogen. But at that same midpoint going the other direction, they added the AVAIL. They treated the DAP with AVAIL. And I was still pretty skeptical. I was. I said, and even when the guys came along middle of the summer and they said, well, we've been out in your field, and, they'd pulled up some corn plants and they cut them and showed me, look how big around the diameter of this plant this one is compared to that one, and all these things, and they were excited. Because see, bottom line to me as a farmer, it doesn't mean anything if we don't see a yield difference. I mean, the plants can be greener, the stalks can be bigger. It's any number of things. To me, that's more cosmetic look. So it only will mean something if when we get to the end of the day, when we combine it, we see a yield difference. Well, that day did come, and so again, the only thing different was the AVAIL. I mean, like I said, as we planted it and managed the crop, we harvested the crop also. We brought a weigh wagon out and we checked it, and the first side-by-side AVAIL treated, the treated versus the untreated, I'll be honest, I mean, it was around 20 bushels an acre difference. And, you see that kind of difference. But we did another check, and it was a little bit better. It was a little more, the difference is even more so. And so this was enough for me to think, this really might be something to this. There was such a difference in the corn that I thought it was, that I felt like it was significant enough to where I would put more AVAIL over more of my acres in 2011. And I put out all my fertilizer in October, November for 2011, and I just went ahead and put AVAIL on all my DAP. I thought, well, okay, this worked, because I also have wheat, and wheat is a grass crop, somewhat like corn, and I felt like I should probably get a good response with the wheat too. I'm pretty skeptical by nature, but it was. And then the thing about it, and we stood there, so let's do it again. So we, just went a little bit further over and did it again. And honestly, the second time, the difference was so great. It was more than the first comparison that we decided that, most farmers probably would not believe that, the difference we saw. And so we decided, well, let's just stick with the first difference because it was substantial. I would say, look, if you've got the time, if you don't mind doing it, do what I did. Take a small field, and do everything the same. Variety, your seeding rates, your chemicals, everything the same. And maybe do half the field, with AVAIL treated DAP and the other half the field with not. And then basically what y'all have to do is when you get to harvest and just see if you yourself, you see the difference. I said, you're not going to be convinced until you for yourself can see a difference. And you go, oh yeah, there is a difference here.